Hello and welcome to Happy Handicrafts. My name is Joanna and today we are going to be making a Paper Sloyd Whisk-Broom holder. Now this is project number 7 from the 3rd year from the book Paper Sloyd for Primary Grades by Ednah Anne Rich. It's a decorative piece that you would hang on the wall. We don't necessarily have use for a whisk-broom holder, but we found other uses for it, as you will find out at the end of the video. Now this is a 2-step process, so be sure to stick with us the whole way through. It's worth the effort. Now the materials you're going to need for this project are the book Paper Sloyd for Primary Grades by Ednah Anne Rich. Again, if you don't have one already, I'll put a couple links below. You're also going to need a compass, a hole punch, an X-Acto knife, a pencil, a ruler, a cutting mat, some glue, and some good quality paper. We used 12 by 12 inch scrapbooking paper. You'll need one of those, or an alternative is to use 2 8.5 by 11 or 8 by 10s. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is to create the back of the whisk-broom holder. So we're going to create a rectangle that is 6.5 by 10 inches. So first we measure down on the left from the top to 6.5 inches, and then further on the right to 6.5 inches, and we draw a dot at both places. We're then going to use our ruler to join both of those dots with a line. Next, we're going to use our ruler to measure 10 inches in from the left at the top of the page. And we're going to draw a dot. Then we'll move our ruler down to the line we just drew, and we'll measure 10 inches in from the left again. And we'll draw a dot. Next, you're going to use your ruler to join those 2 dots with a line. Now that you have your rectangle, you can go and cut it out. We're using an X-Acto knife on a cutting mat. You can use scissors if you like, if your paper is thin enough. Once you've cut this out, keep the remaining paper because you're going to use it for the second part of this project, if you're using a 12 inch by 12 inch piece of paper. Now we're going to measure and place dots on the top at 1 1/4 inch and 9 inches. Now we'll do the same for the bottom. We're going to measure in from the left to 1 1/4 inch we're going to draw a dot, and then 9 inches, and we'll draw a dot. Now we'll join those 2 lines, or the dots with 2 lines. Next, we're going to put our ruler on the right, and we're going to measure down at 1.5 inches and draw a dot. Make sure it's on the very edge of the paper, and then 5 inches and draw a dot. Then you're going to place your ruler on the dot and on the opposite corner. Is that the opposite corner? I don't know. On the corner, like you see Lucy doing, and drawing a line. You're joining the 1.5 inch dot to the upper left corner and the 5 inch dot to the lower left corner. I hope that's more clear. Next, you're going to place a dot on the first vertical line at 3.25 inches. Just a dot, no line this time. Then you're going to measure your compass to 1.25 inches, and you're going to draw a half circle from the dot you just made. Next, you're going to place the point of your compass at the intersection of the vertical lines with the slanted line in the upper left corner, and you're going to draw a curve. Then you'll do the same in the lower left corner. Now you're going to place a dot on the second vertical line at 3.25 inches. Again, just a dot. Next, you'll set your compass to 1 inch. We'll measure that carefully. And we're going to draw a half circle using that dot as the center. We're next going to set our compass at 3.75 inches, and we're going to draw curves in the upper right corner, as you see Lucy doing. And in the lower right corner. You'll see that this makes it nice and decorative. Next, we'll punch our hole in the left-hand side where we put the dot. As you can see, our hole punch doesn't reach that far, but that's okay. We still punched a hole and it worked just fine. Next, using our X-Acto knife and cutting mat, we're going to cut out the shape. The book instructs us to do the straight lines first and then the curves. Now, once you're finished cutting out the back portion, we're going to start on the second portion, which is the pocket of the Whisk-Broom holder. You're going to take the paper that you discarded, and we're going to create a rectangle, a 4 3/4 by 8-inch rectangle. So we're going to measure down on the left-hand side from our top to 4 3/4, and we're going to draw a dot, just like we always do. Move the ruler in, measure down 4 3/4 of an inch, and draw another dot. Then join those two dots with a line using your ruler. Next, you're going to measure in 8 inches at the top, and you're going to draw a dot. Then move your ruler down, and on the line we just drew, measure in 8 inches from the left and draw another dot. And now you can use your ruler to join those two dots with a line. Now you can cut it out with your X-Acto knife. This time Lucy's choosing to use the ruler because we found that with longer lines, it's easier to get a straight cut with the ruler. If you're going to cut with the ruler, you need to have a metal ruler like the one we have, and you can find a link to that in our blog, which has a link below. Now, once you have your rectangle, you're going to measure along the top to 3/4 of an inch and draw a dot, and 7 1/4 inch and draw a dot. Then along the bottom, this is a lot more precise. You're going to measure into 7/8 of an inch. Then 1 5/8. We had to figure out where that was. There we go. Then 6 3/8 of an inch. Whoops. And then 7 1/8 of an inch. And now we're going to draw slanting lines. As you can see Lucy first, she's joining this dot at the 7 5/8 of an inch and the upper left hand corner. That's going to be our cut line. And then move the ruler in to the 1 5/8 of an inch and the 3/4 of an inch dot at the top. And we made a dotted line like in the diagram because this is going to be a fold. Next, we're going to draw a line from the 7 1/8 of an inch dot to the upper right hand corner, and that is going to be our cut line. And then we'll move the ruler in just a little bit to the 6 3/8 of an inch dot, joining with the 7 1/4 inch, and we're going to join those dots with a dotted line because again this is a fold. Next, we're going to cut out on the solid lines. Again, this time Lucy's choosing to use a ruler to keep these longer lines nice and straight. I will say it's not that important with this one because these lines are going to be on the back of your project and you're not going to see them. We'll next use our ruler to make our initial folds. We like to make sure they're nice and straight. These are the only folds in this project. Then we use the back of our ruler to reinforce those folds and keep them nice and crisp. Now we're going to connect the pocket to the back. You're going to place glue on the inner parts of the fold, and you're going to paste it onto the back about 1/2 inch below the curve. Hold it in place until it's firmly glued, and then you can do the other side. Again, put glue on the inner side of the tab. It's going to wrap around the back and paste onto the back portion of the project, just like you see Lucy doing there. You'll need to hold it in place because it's going to want to pull away. And there is our Whisk-Broom holder. It's pretty, isn't it? Now, we don't have any use for a Whisk-Broom holder. We don't have a Whisk-Broom, so we found other uses for it. We hung it on the wall with flowers, and I think it looks really pretty. So thank you for following us. Thank you for crafting with us, and I hope to see you in the next video.